1:15, this is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Romesh Piris and read by Niranjan Abesundara. The head of state is hopeful that true Islam devotees who follow the Holy Quran would commit themselves with added determination to further strengthen harmony. Vaccination program continues. More arrests for violating quarantine regulations. Spill gates of 5 reservoirs opened. The Parliament to convene for 3 days next week. In world news, Gaza death toll climbs as Israel escalates aerial bombardment. Sports news is football. Real Madrid beat Granada to keep the pressure on leaders Atletico Madrid at the top of the La Liga. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa in his message for Eid al-Fitr says that Sri Lanka's reconciliation revealed to the world through building peace and brotherhood among communities is a great example to the entire Muslim community. The President is hopeful that true Islam devotees who follow the Holy Quran would collectively commit themselves with added determination to further strengthen harmony. The head of state expressed without a doubt the appeal to save the humankind from the lethal COVID-19 pandemic would be among the wishes of our Islam devotees. The President said the hope is, that the commitment and dedication of the whole world is to create a healthy lifestyle free of the prevailing pandemic, and stated that the month of Ramzan is the time for the reflection of this objective. A majority of COVID-19 cases have been identified from the Colombo district yesterday. 2,269 individuals tested positive for COVID-19 yesterday, increased the total case load to 135,796. 643 infections were recorded from Colombo, of whom 39 each were from Piliandale and Borasgamo, 37 from Hangwal and 33 from Homagama. 301 COVID-19 cases were detected from Gampaha, 174 from Ratnapura, 155 from Gol, 126 from Anuradhapura, 121 from Kalusara, and 100 from Kurunegala. 20 overseas arrivals also tested positive for the virus yesterday. The Government Information Department said COVID-19 recovery stands at 108,802. 24 more COVID-19-related deaths were reported yesterday, taking the toll to the country to 892. Meanwhile, the Federal Unit says another 74,025 individuals were administered the COVID-19 vaccine yesterday, while 64,060 persons were given the first dose of Sinopharm vaccine, while 9,965 individuals were administered the second jab of the Covishield vaccine. Accordingly, 214,052 persons have been administered both doses of the Covishield vaccine in Sri Lanka. 214,880 persons have been administered the first dose of the Sinopharm vaccine, while 14,673 individuals have been administered the first jab of the Sputnik V vaccine. The police say that 282 persons have been arrested yesterday on charges of violating health guidelines and not wearing face masks. The police said quarantine operations were carried out across the country yesterday. 9,029 persons have been arrested for failing to adhere to health guidelines since 30th of October last year. Police said majority of persons arrested yesterday were from Colombo North, Kuliapitia, Martale and Trincomalee. A special operation related to quarantine regulations was carried out from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. in the Western Province yesterday, with 4,636 individuals inspected and 36 arrested on charges of violating health guidelines. Meanwhile, the police say 20,000 police officers will be deployed on duty to ensure the identified travel restrictions are being stringently adhered to. Police and media spokesman, Deputy Inspector General of Police, Adit Rohan, has said persons found violating the regulations will be dealt with under the provisions of the Quarantine Ordinance, the Penal Code and the Criminal Code. 42 Gramlidar divisions in 3 districts have been isolated. Accordingly, 24 Gramlidar divisions in the Giriula police area in the Kuruneg district, 12 Gramlidar divisions in Kenya, Trincomalee and 6 Gramlidar divisions in Batikalo have been placed under isolation. Meanwhile, isolation orders imposed in 6 Gramlidar divisions in Dodangoda, Kalutara and 2 Gramlidari divisions in Trincomalee have been lifted. Commander of the Army, General Shavandra Silva, said orders will be coming to effect from 4 a.m. on Monday, the 17th of May. The Immigration and Immigration Control General has taken a decision to extend the validity of period of all types of visas of foreigners who are currently in Sri Lanka, taking into consideration the spread of the coronavirus in the country. Accordingly, the periods of validity of visas of all categories obtained by the foreigners who have already visited Sri Lanka have been extended by 60 days with effect from the 11th of May to 2021 up to 9th of July 2021. Immigration and Immigration Department said in a statement, all the visa fees applicable for that period will be charged for the visa that expire within this period and exempted from charging the overstay penalties. The department said it's providing services with a minimum staff under the COVID-19 pandemic, and accordingly, Battaramulla head office is open for issuance of passport in case of an emergency. The regional officers in Kandy, Vaunia, Matra and Kurunegala are open for the public who may have the essential service requirements to visit the regional officers subject to travel restrictions. Board of Investment of Sri Lanka said it considers it a national responsibility to continue manufacturing the process while ensuring the safety of employees in accordance with health guidelines amidst the prevalent COVID-19 crisis. The chairman Sanjay Mahotala said the BOI will continue to provide necessary guidance and facilities for this purpose. BOI has made arrangements to carry out essential functions such as product shipping and import of raw materials without any obstruction under existing restrictions. BOI chairman added the risk of COVID-19 is far greater than before, adding that instructions were issued to operate factories in biosecure bubble. He claimed authorities have been requested to prioritize vaccinations of factory workers in high-risk areas. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
People's Bank introduces the Parinatha Vishrama loan scheme to honour and empower pensioners.
The Parliament sittings next week have been scheduled for the 18th, 19th and 20th of May, as decided at the Committee on Parliamentary Business chaired by Speaker Mahinda Yapa Abeyewardena. The Colombo Port City Economic Commission bill is scheduled to be taken up for debate on the 19th and 20th of May. The bill will be taken up for debate on the 19th from 10 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and will continue from 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. on the 20th. Jaffna District Secretary K. Mahesan said initial centres will be set up to treat those who are diagnosed with the COVID-19 virus in the Jaffna District. Temporary arrangements are underway to set up treatment centres in the district. A paddy storage facility in Navakuli is renovated to treat more than 650 people. Montecote Technical College has been converted into a COVID treatment centre which will accommodate 200 beds. Japanese Secretary further announced that steps will be taken to convert one ward each of Telepele, Point Pedro, Kites and the Chapakacheri-based hospitals into COVID treatment centres. Meanwhile, the Secretary is working in the Northern Province say arrangements have been made available to ensure essential services to the public despite travel ban. Accordingly, essential services to Manna, Vaunia, Kirinochi, Mulethivu and Jaffna districts are unaffected due to the shutdown, which is effective throughout the country at present. And that ends local news for now.
People's Bank introduces the Parinatha Vishrama loan scheme to honour and empower pensioners.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Veda Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
The encourage program of the media personnel commenced today. Accordingly, the Secretary, the Minister of Mass Media, Jagat P. Vijayveera, the program got underway due to a special request by the Minister of Health, Paithavani Arachi, and the Minister of Mass Media, Keri Rabukwella. That was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
On to Watchlight, the police say public transportation has been suspended from today till 4 a.m. on Monday, owing to the island-wide COVID-19 travel restrictions. Taxi services will not be in operation as well. Sri Lanka Railways and said trains will not operate till 4 a.m. on Monday, and services will resume from Monday as per usual when restrictions are lifted. That came to in Watchlight. On to world news. Gaza death toll climbs as Israel escalates aerial bombardment. US President hails great day as he sheds mask in Oval Office. Russian vaccine Sputnik V available in India from next week. Death toll in Gaza has climbed above 100 as Israel pounded the enclave with more airstrikes and artillery shells, while Hamas sent a heavy barrage of rockets deep into Israel, even as Egyptian negotiators held in-person mediation talks with the two sides. The 4 days of cross-border violence showed no sign of abating as Palestinians marked the first day of Eid al-Fitr religious holiday, and the violence also spread to mixed communities of Jews and Arabs in Israel, a new front in the long conflict. U.S. President Joe Biden has hailed a great day for America as U.S. officials said vaccinated people can go maskless in most indoor and outdoor settings. The president removed his mask in the Oval Office with Republican lawmakers as the guidance was being announced. The advice calls for wearing masks in crowded indoor settings like buses, planes, and hospitals. The Biden administration has faced pressure to ease restrictions on fully vaccinated people. Indian Health Ministry has announced that Russia's Sputnik V vaccine will be available in markets across the country early next week. Announcement comes 12 days after the first consignment of 150,000 doses of Sputnik V vaccine landed in Hyderabad from Russia. Sputnik V is developed by Russia's Gamaleya National Center. It will be the third vaccine to be cleared for use in India at a time when the country is in the grip of an intense second wave and the demand for vaccine has shot up. Health Ministry press briefing further stated that local production of Sputnik V vaccine will begin in July at Hyderabad-based Dr. Reddy's laboratories. And back to the headlines of the world news. Gaza death toll climbs as Israel escalates aerial bombardment. U.S. President hails great day as he sheds mask in Oval Office. Russian vaccine Sputnik V to be available in India from next week. On development news, Attorney General Dapper de Oliveira declared open a training and development center for the Officer to Attorney General's Department. Funded and set up with assistance from the USAID, the Training and Development Center was declared open at Attorney General's Department building premises. The center will reportedly be dedicated to offering highly professionalized training for new recruits with added an in-house training component for staff already in service. That is development news.
Sports News is brought to you by...
When Aya bought a motorbike, he bought 2 helmets. So sweet of him. I'm sure the other one is for me.
In whatever we do, we Sri Lankans are always thinking of others. When we get Munchie Super Cream Crackers, they're not just for ourselves. Munchie Super Cream Cracker. Super kiyanne nikan neve.
Sports news, it's football. Defending champions are 2 points behind Atleti with 2 games to go. Luka Modric gave Real the lead from Miguel Gutierrez's scoop pass and Rodrigo scored with a fine solo goal. Atletico Madrid could win the title on Sunday if they beat Osasuna, and Real fails to beat Atletico Bilbao. Barcelona, who are 4 points behind Atletico, will host Celta Vigo. That was sports news.
My wife always sets a full lunch table, even if it's just the 2 of us. She always expects people to drop by, like maybe the army.
In whatever we do, we Sri Lankans are always thinking of others. When we get Munchie Super Cream Crackers, they're not just for ourselves. Munchie Super Cream Cracker. Super kiyanne nikan neve.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply. Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
Sri Lanka's leading agribusiness company, Waterville Plantations PLC, announced that SBI Wind Holdings Private Limited, the overseas private equity firm of SBI Holdings, has invested $2 million in the Waterville Dairy Farm through Waterville Dairy Limited. Investment will further propel WATA's dairy operations in the country and contribute to the economy by committing to the government's effort to promote local meat production and towards the global of achieving of self-sufficiency in milk. That is business news.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money. Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic News, courtesy of...
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Sri Lanka Telecom PLC Group released its financial results for the first quarter of 2021. The remarkable 14.3% year-on-year growth in profit after tax to 2.1 billion rupees. The group's revenue went up to 24.7 billion rupees for the period with 11.4% year-on-year growth, strongly underpinned by growth in revenues of FTTH, 4G LTE, mobile broadband services, pure TV services and carrier domestic services. International voice revenue reflected a reduction in growth while international revenues from global transit and global data soared compared to the same period of last year. That is economic news.
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Weather Report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
Met Department states the prevailing showery condition in the southwestern parts of the country, particularly in the southern, western, Sabaragamuwa, north central and central provinces, are expected to continue further. Issuing an advisory for adverse weather, the Met Department said downpours above 200 millimeters will occur at some places tonight. In the meantime, Disaster Management Centre warned water levels of 3 rivers have observed minor flood level: Nilbala, Gin and Kaluganga. People living in the floodplains of Kalu, Gin and Nilbala rivers advised to remain alert on possible floods. That was the weather report.
Weather Report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee. Back to the headlines of the new. Head of state is hopeful that true Islam devotees who follow the Holy Quran would commit themselves with added determination to further strengthen harmony. Vaccination program continues. More arrests for violating quarantine regulations. Spill gates of 5 reservoirs opened. The parliament convened for 3 days next week. In world news, Gaza Red Toll climbs as Israel escalates aerial bombardment. Sports news football. Real Madrid beat Granada to keep the pressure on leaders Atletico Madrid at the top of the La Liga. That in the news, and back to your friend and mine, Victor Raj, keep entertained this Friday afternoon. Over to you, Victor.